It's Monday on YourView. Welcome to the show. I am Moriah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, BC. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing amazing.
Excellent really nice.
Morning. Thank you. So I tried as much as possible to rest on Saturday. Had a nap in the afternoon because I worked all through Friday to Saturday, and I just had to chill a bit. And yesterday we went to Alagbado for church and to visit grandma
and grandpa.
Yes, and we had a good time. We're back home in the evening. The kids are on midterm, so they are home. I'm happy that they are sleeping. They're going to be waking up late. They wake up as late as 12 noon. Yes. So they've done a lot of work, and I was really impressed with their results this half term. So they need to take all the rest that they can get while I focus on working towards my trade fair. That's going to be happening first week of November.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well done.
Busy season.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Nima? I have very little time left. Just say.
So I just want to beg people on the express. Presently, they are constructing the Owoshoki Papa Expressway. And those people from Coca all the way to Sele, they wake up every morning, come out with their nylon bags and drop their waste on the road. And there's a dead body just around Soya bus stop. Please, the authorities, 112 did not go. I call it, I cannot banter, but they didn't go. So please, do the right thing.
He didn't go.
112 did not go.
Try 767.
I tried, but I didn't press it for that when I was driving. But I tried 112 like a park.
He didn't go, yeah.
I'm very good. Saturday was extremely busy, so Sunday was extremely sleepy. I visited 5 sites on Saturday. My tired was tired because since I started my LBS program, I haven't gone to do site inspection. And I could see the drop in our sales. Nigerians are so used to fraudulent people. They want to see me on the sites, like as you are standing there. This one that you're standing on, let me deposit for it. So I had to go to all the locations and then give updates on 2 of our estates that we have fenced already so that clients can then know that this is what has been happening, especially for those in diaspora. But I'm extremely grateful to God that I was able to sleep and rest, and I'm feeling very refreshed and happy starting this
for the week's
week.
work.
Yes.
Fantastic.
How are you doing, Mo?
It was fine. Weekend. It was also a fairly busy weekend for me. I can't remember what I did, but I know it was busy. A lot of things happened. I was in and out Sunday activities, but I thank God, yeah.
See,
You look like a baby this morning.
Honestly, and the look works. So.
No, it's good. It's good. It's just styling.
It's all good. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Let's start with the nation. Security alert in Abuja to forestall attack by bandits. IPOB to meet federal government at Supreme Court. NDLEA arrests 4 wanted kingpins over 16 tons of drugs. I'm fit to rule, says Tinubu. Floods, Lagos begins dredging of canals. 542 stranded Nigerians evacuated from UAE. Telecom sector contributes $70 billion to economy, says NCC. Investors' apathy threatens 10.78 trillion deficit funding. Okay, which story are we starting with? What's the major headline?
So the US issued citizens in their host countries, and this made headlines. But the DSS says that there's no cause for panic. It's normal for countries to issue travel and security alerts to their citizens while they're traveling. And I'd like to read what they said. They said they warned that citizens should avoid all non-essential travels or movements in crowds and be on alert always in Nigeria, and they should review personal security plans and keep their cell phones charged in case of emergency, and they should also carry proper identification according to their embassies to their own citizens. And the DSS says it's not easy for us to start to move regularly. That it's normal and that every situation is under control. So I want to rely, since we are here anyway, under the DSS on what they have said, and hope that whatever scared the countries outside have is taken care of already.
Okay. I was going to take the NDLEA story. So the NDLEA has arrested 4 wanted kingpins related to the 16,000 kilograms of cannabis intercepted between Lagos and Abuja. And the spokesman, Femi Babafem, was saying yesterday that a gentleman called, is a 48-year-old Aru Adeninde, they've been looking for him for weeks. He was arrested on Sunday, 16th of October, because of involvement in 3,149 kilograms of the cannabis. There was another lady, Hawawu Bashiru and Bashirat Adebisi Yahaya. They were also linked to about 90 kg of meth, while another person, Pastor Anite Okun Efyong of Promise of Zion Church, was equally arrested in Lagos, involved in the Uyo charges. I think it was about 5,640 kg of cannabis. So quite a number. I mean, it's a success story from NDLE. We know they are working. It's always good that they continuously give us reports on who and name them. Let's have their names and know when they were arrested and where they were arrested, which is really important. So I'm happy for NDLE. Well done.
Okay.
NDLE.
So the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, has said that the technology-driven telecommunications sector has contributed about $70 billion to the Nigerian economy. The Executive Vice Chairman, Professor Umar Dambata, had to state this while he was delivering a keynote address at a cyber chain conference at the Nigerian Air Force Conference Center at Kado, Abuja. And he talked, the topic was using technology to grow Nigeria's GDP. And he went ahead to give all the things that technology has done for the nation, saying the impact has been tremendous, and it has become, the sector has become a key driver to national economy. So he also mentioned that the adoption of the 5G e-commerce, fintech, big data, and other platforms has boosted the country's internal revenue generation capacity, and they are, hoping to do more with it. So he went ahead to say that aside from the 70 billion that has been put into the Nigerian economy, it has provided over 500,000 jobs in the formal and informal sectors and improved the lives of millions, explaining how using the technology, using phones has helped us. Even we as business people have been able to navigate, and they're trying as much as possible to get everybody on board. Some people are still very analog at the moment, and they're missing out on all the things that they can benefit from using technology.
Okay, so making headlines, a sad story about investors' apathy. So government, our current budget, we have a huge deficit, and the government was planning to source 2/3 of the funds from local markets. What they realize is that many local investors are not putting their money on ground. So out of the 100, the total money they were trying to raise, they could only get 53% taking advantage of his last offering. In a particular case, the government was trying to raise 75 billion naira each. In one trend, out of 75 billion, they could only get 7 billion. In another one, they could only get 15 billion. So people are not, there is an investor apathy within the system. They were saying it doesn't really mean anything bad. It just means that people were not subscribing as much. Maybe they are not ready to subscribe. But the managing director of Stephen Asset Management, that's Mr. Tunde Amolegbe, was saying that it's an indication of the current mood of the market, and that people are a bit watching and waiting to see a bit of stability. He said that it might be a short run, but it might pose a threat long-term to how we're able to implement our budget in 2023. So he said that the undersubscription might be driven by the fact that there is low system liquidity, and he's also saying that maybe if they see stability in the implementation of our policies, people might come back to start investing. But I'm worried about how the government tends to fund the budget if local investors are not putting in money.
They also plan to sell some of our key assets.
No, that's different from this one.
Yeah, I know. So they're going to it's part of the plan to get that 10-point-something trillion they're looking for.
Wow.
Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Moving on now to the Punch. FG subsidy spending to hit 11 trillion naira in 2023. 539 stranded Nigerians couldn't get UAE work permit, says NEMA. Dubai jails Nigerian lady for filming maltreatment, family protests. Kerosene price soars by 118%. Ex-convict rapes 12-year-old Ogun people to death. PDP APC trade accusations over Tinubu and Atiku's manifestos. Punch Investigations editor wins top West African Journalism Award. FCT risk attack says U.S. Defense Headquarters allays fears. And FG may announce airport concession winners this week. All right, Human Dubai. What happened
Yeah,
in Dubai?
so an ex... okay, Dubai. Go ahead.
Dubai.
Yeah.
Tell them about Dubai.
542 Nigerians were evacuated from Dubai, according to the Punch, and they included, sadly, 79 males, 460 females, and 3 infants. And according to some of their, accounts, one of them said that, she got legal papers to work in Dubai, but there was a change in their policies within the country. In a short period of time, she became stranded. She couldn't get a job because of that policy, and she had to start to hustle, that kind of thing. The government just usually would change their visa policy based on whatever factors they see per time, notwithstanding that some people have already come into the country before that policy. And then they make everybody already in the country start to run helter-skelter, and they had to be evacuated. But it's sad that, Nigerians are reacting to the issue ways I don't understand. Tokpe has an account.
Don't worry, let us.
So it's not in the country report.
Yeah,
What's the account?
the other lady, did you take the lady that reported and then was jailed?
No,
Yes.
no.
Yes, so this particular lady, the family of Dinchi La, a Nigerian lady who was, jailed for 1 year. She was incarcerated for exposing the maltreatment of Nigerians at Dubai. So she apparently made a video and posted that video, and then she was, jailed for 1 year. So she wrote in the video, she said, I am at the Dubai International Airport, and myself and some Tiger Nigerians with valid visas are being held in a room hours after arriving with no explanation and no information on what we can do. Please help me. There is more than 20 of us. So her family are calling on the Nigerian government to do something about this. She has a right to, speak out if she's being treated and then a government just, puts her in jail, 1 year jail term. We don't even know how the trial happened.
They call it cyberbullying. They say
it's
that
not allowed in their country.
Said that video she posted included the face of a person. They shall find the way their laws covered it. And Dubai is not a democratic nation. They are an emirate.
We need to stay by the laws.
What is painful is that the visas, that these
even
500 and
valid.
something Nigerians, they pay for them.
They paid for the visas.
They pay for it now.
Nigerian
Everybody,
visa.
You pay for a visa.
everybody pays for visa.
But
You might not
never
get
travel.
it.
You pay for visa.
So you made money.
Yeah.
People have legally landed in your country, but you're not giving back. You're not deporting them, making
They're
them
not
on their work
obligated to. Even when
permit.
they say
They're not
US go
obligated
after
to.
that, when you get to America, they can send you.
They can
the
send you
point
back
of-
at the point, yes.
Because they have their liberty to send you back.
And they put it in your visa
So
requirements.
you that are
that-
paying for it, you already know that they can send you back.
It's inside the requirement for this.
Yes,
You're
it
not,
is.
I'm just saying.
But another quick story, please. An ex-convict, Messi Orija, reportedly raped a 12-year-old pupil, Janet Fakeye, to death in Abeokuta, Ogun State. So this young girl went to school, came back, finished her homework, and then told the father she needed to buy soap, detergent to wash her uniform. So the father gave her money, and she went to buy. Unfortunately, on her way back, this ex-convict, who was just recently released because he assaulted somebody, a POS lady sometime, and was jailed, and he was just recently released, just grabbed her into his family house,
raped her to death.
tied her up, raped her to death, then dumped her body the next compound and ran away. So the father kept waiting and then went to the shop to ask for her. They said she had bought the soap and she had left. Went to a friend's house to look for the poor girl. They said they didn't see her. And on his way to the police station, they found the dead body. So he's calling for justice. The police has confirmed the story, said they are already, searching for this.
Okay.
I'll take the story about kerosene price hike. Sadly, they said household kerosene might be out of the reach of poor Nigerians. Many Nigerians depend on kerosene as a means of cooking. And this commodity, the price has increased by over 118% in just the past 12 months. So before, as at September 2022, kerosene is selling for that's the HHK paid by consumer in September 22 was 947, indicating an increase of 17% as compared to 809. So between August and September, there's been a 17% hike. And in Ebonyi State, they were selling for 1,227. And the price is just across all states. Some states are selling for 715 naira, Nasarawa for 735, Rivers for 600, but every state there's been over 100%
190 naira
hike.
to 900 naira per litre.
I wanted to find my
per litre
This
of
is mostly
kerosene.
consumed by the masses. Majority of people still cook with
No, but
kerosene.
Nima, there's some states are buying for 1,200 per litre
Oh.
of kerosene.
So we're subsidizing the...
Okay, let's move on to Vanguard.
Rich to suffer the
I'm okay. Presidential race is not a wrestling bout, says Tinubu. Anti-party, PDP in dilemma over Wike and others. 2023, Northern APC Christian Forum asked Lalong others to resign from Tinubu's campaign council. Don't politicize flood, Akwa Ibom Delta tells federal government. Peter Obi seeks urgent declaration of flood disaster emergency. Labour kicks against secret sale of Polaris Bank. Atiku Okowa campaign mocks Tinubu over empty Kano streets. Insecurity fueling malnutrition in Nigeria, says UNICEF. And 542 Nigerians deported from Dubai. Okay, which story are we starting with?
insecurity.
Peter Obi has already, Peter Obi had, that's the presidential candidate for Labour Party,
Yes.
had mentioned that he was pausing his campaign because of the flooding that happened in some parts of the country, and now he's saying that it should be a national emergency for the states where it happened. He said that the infrastructural damage is extensive. Then the areas, Bayelsa states, he mentioned how this also affected Anambra states. He listed a few of the states where there was no, it wasn't just about, it was the infrastructural damage that took place beyond the lives being displaced, that there should be a national emergency on this issue. He also commended the president, the governor of Bayelsa State, that's Governor Do Diri, for his proactiveness and his response to the challenge. Benue also is part of those that have had major issues with flooding, and I'll just say let us all do what we can. Let's not wait until politicians, let's not politicize it.
So the account, there's a headline there saying don't politicize the flood by the state governments, talking to the federal government. So Delta, Akwa Ibom, and Bayelsa, but the paper carries Delta particularly, are responding to the federal government, Sheikh Garba's comment that, they should come and explain what happened and how they expended the ecological funds within those states that are so affected by the floods. That's the federal government saying the floods were not necessarily as a result of just opening of
The dam?
the dam in Cameroon, that, these states get these funds to prepare for the opening. And so they should explain how that
didn't do
money,
the dredging and all
the
of
proper
that ahead.
preparations. And so they now responded to the federal government that, stop politicizing the issue. And they didn't necessarily
Address question.
Or address.
So sometimes,
because
because
find
the
a way
country is
out.
bigger than the federal government, we have some things you need to deal with and prepare locally. And so they must explain.
So also, Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu was in Kano, and that's where he was. He gave 100 million naira to relief for the flood victims within that state. And he also said that he's okay. He doesn't look sick. If you guys watch the video, he was saying that he's neither running for a 100-yard match or 500-yard race, and he's not also preparing for a WWE wrestling bout. He's actually what he's running for is a knowledge-based job, which is the presidency, and that he doesn't look. He said, "Do I look sick?"
Actually, he didn't look sick.
So
Because I've been the one to say on this show that he looked frail. But in this particular video, I watched it and I was surprised. He
came back.
Yes,
Stronger.
they did something in the UK. Whatever they are doing in the UK to all our presidents and presidential, they should come and do it in Nigeria so that other Nigerians can also refresh, It's a good thing.
Obviously, he was preaching unity, diversity, peace, and prosperity, and said that that's the mission of it as he comes into, he's going to run and give his whole 100% attention to Nigerians, and he will not spend 50% in Dubai. I know who was talking to, and 50% in Nigeria.
So the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has identified insecurity as one of the major factors fueling malnutrition in Nigeria. They are cautioning that if nothing is done, no decisive step is taken, all the efforts they had put in would just go to waste. They said that 17 million malnutrition burden is on Nigeria, and Nigeria ranked the highest in the whole of Africa, and we're not even planning or meeting the Sustainable Development Goals. So with that in mind, we need to work hand in hand with different sectors. Every sector needs to contribute. And one of the things they also saw is the fact that most of these places where they have children that are malnourished is more in the northeast. So all the collaborations we need to do, that they are trying as much as possible to, alleviate this from the people. But the government needs to do more, because it's the government that, owns the people, and they have to support with everything. They have to ensure that they inculcate it, even in the primary health care center, nutrition, anytime you go to the hospital, people around that area must be able to feed and feed well.
Nigerian Tribune, Tinubu Atiku in fresh row. Footballer drowns after rescuing 5 flood victims in Bayelsa.
Oh.
Nigeria committed to ending open defecation by 2025, says Minister. Insured flood victims to get prompt payment of claims, says NICOM. FG evacuates 542 stranded Nigerians from UAE. Why Nigerians ship owners may lose out from the $19 billion Dangote refinery. Borno inaugurates 804 houses to resettle displaced persons. Police arrest IPOB commander, destroys shrine camps in the Boeing. Okay, which story are we doing?
NICOM.
Go ahead.
So the National Insurance Commission, still on the flooding issue, Mr. Rasak Salami, the head of corporate communication and market development of NICOM, has made a pledge that everyone who was insured, everybody that was insured will be getting their compensation paid early. That they are working with all insurance companies to alleviate the challenges that those that are insured are facing. If we recollect, the flooding, as we've lost 603 lives in the flooding, 2.5 million people were affected, 1 million persons, have been displaced, 121 houses completely damaged, 82 houses partially damaged, 108 hectares of farmland destroyed and fully submerged, 332 hectares of farmland in the country completely submerged, that there's nothing from those places. So for the farmers, anyone who had insured against flooding, they are saying in a short while, they are working with all insurance companies to pay them for those insured. But those who are not insured will have to wait on the government to find a way to, or well-meaning Nigerians to support them.
So sadly, another story from Bayelsa. So this 31-year-old footballer, NS Pere Mobowei, is a Nigerian guy, named the Twistong, died in Yenogwa local government. On his way, he was going to another community around that area, and he was in a boat with 5 other occupants, and that boat capsized by crashing into the jetty. He, because he could swim, helped all the 5 occupants with him, helped them to safety, but died of exhaustion.
Oh, God.
Swimming that water, he got tired, and, he died. He drowned. And then they found his body 2 days later. They deposited the body. It's just so sad that, this footballer has so many recognitions and awards. His career was going well, and,
It was doing a good thing.
was doing a good thing.
He became a savior.
But in states here, SP Chris Anyanwu was saying that they destroyed actually a camp and a shrine that is owned by IPOB. And they also arrested quite a number of kingpins within that sect. According to them, they were able to recover 12 bulletproof jackets, 8 sets of military camouflage uniforms, 2 camp gas cookers, 110 rounds of FNC live ammunition, 40 rounds of GPMG live ammunition. In fact, empty cannons of also of single-barrel guns, 9
powerful ammunition.
So
they are well equipped. You think they're going for war, and they also seize their vehicles. So I'm happy they were able to arrest this. They were able to arrest them, which was a good thing, and they run down and destroy the entire shrine where they were. We have to wrap up. I'm not sure we can take any other papers. I think we'll run out of time.
Completely.
That's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, according to reports reaching us over the weekend, a senior lecturer at the Federal University of Lafayette, Nasarawa State, Dr. Fred Ayokai, alongside his children on Friday, brutalized a 20-year-old girl, Blessing Matthias, excuse me, who allegedly fought his daughter over a man. On the show today, we'll be discussing the aftermath of these fisticuffs the unthinkable that unfolded and how a whole family got dragged into this humiliation. What are your thoughts on this? How could this have been avoided? You can call us on 08127053687, 09139076948. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourView TVC so we can read your tweet. At some point, maybe we'll be able to show some of the videos. It was quite heartbreaking to see a young girl, 20-year-old, being beaten up and stripped naked by some people just because she and her colleague were fighting over a man. And this is just a painful situation. Nima, I know you were really passionate about this story. Tell us exactly.
I didn't have work over the weekends. I was following trends on Twitter and I saw this story. So this lecturer, I was initially provoked and people were tagging us. So that was how I went to check what was trending. People were tagging the ladies of YourView to discuss it. I saw the video of the girl being beaten, as in, this one past beaten. The girl was pomade, sticks. The lecturer of the Nasarawa State University, Lafia, had a big stick he wielded on this girl. So I wanted to know what happened. We kept following. And then I saw a video of the girl herself that was being beaten, slapping the daughter of the lecturer and, you know, rushing her and beating her over a man.
Hey.
So she's claimed in that video saying, you have the picture, you have the phone number of this guy. Open your phone and delete that number now. How did you get the number? That one kept saying, the daughter of the lecturer kept saying, if you want to have this conversation with me, you need to be calm. You can't be shouting down at me over this. Ask your boyfriend who called who and who toasted who. So you can't be, you know, she was trying to be calm and being a big girl. So the girl rushed her, she lost her temper. You people don't want the other side.
Go ahead.
That close business. So we are still in business. So the daughter, the girl beat up his daughter in that video. But these were like a halfway, two girls fighting. But although that one didn't respond. And that was enough for the man to say, take it to court. They had the video evidence. But the lecturer showed that lecturer of conflict resolution and something. Go shock you. You know, now carry his conflict African way by summoning the boys of the family. All of them enter motor, go there.
Yeah.
They beat that girl beyond, because they barged into her room. She was half naked.
Oh, they entered her own space.
Her own space. She was trying to put on clothes. They did not wait. They did not give her privacy to come outside to address the issue. They were in her room, and the brothers were slapping her into the burglary bars in her room window.
Jesus.
That one did not do them. Fatherhood did not come in. Motherhood spirit did not come in. No Abiyamo spirit in any of them. They beat that girl into the main road, outside. Beat her so much, rolling her on the floor, asking her to be on her knees. The girl, his daughter, saying, I will not hear sorry. They kept saying, apologize to her. She apologized. They said, no, you are faking it. And then the lecturer now, inside my body before, carried. I was watching it on the I was shocked that a man, a father, took scissors to the top of that girl. And cut. Check all the links. I sent all the links. Cut the top of that girl so that she was half naked.
Oh, God.
And they were beating her like that, half naked. They humiliated this girl.
Oh, no. Immediately.
As in, anybody that watched that video. So the excuse of those who tweeted the video of what started it, you don't hold waters when I saw the out of proportion reaction, over proportion. And there was an elder. They say the elder know the house, may picking head bed. But this one, he bent the head as he disgraced himself.
Oh, God.
And I think that even ASU should be ashamed on his behalf.
Yeah.
The NUC should act on this. They should take it beyond the proportion.
You must finish the show.
Yeah, let's just be going home.
No, it's just this story.
No, I think that's the story.
When I first saw the topic, I felt, oh, this is not a Monday topic. Like, two girls fighting over a boy on a Monday morning. Can we just discuss many more serious issues? But it goes beyond that. It could have started as two girls fighting over a boy, but it went beyond that into brutality and human rights abuse, assault, when adults who should know better decided to take laws into their hands and implemented jungle justice. There was even no justice in that situation.
Yes.
The justice would have been for them to pursue the rule of law. What they did was beyond reprehensible, and I think it is important we talk about it, because some people still feel like, and I told him I was upset. Many of us, we do this thing small. My son was bullied. My son now insulted the bully back a year after. The bully cried and reported to the school. My son wore bully jackets. The school has a jacket they wear. If you do anything, everybody in the school will know. And you wear it all around the school that day, and they will make you go all around the school. So the entire school knew this boy did something wrong. I was very, very sad. And then I now confronted my son, and the twin brother said, this girl was the one that was saying this last year, and we reported to you.
And you didn't do anything.
And I didn't do anything. So what happened was, their assumption was, him insulting back was normal. No, we need to learn to, and I told him, I said, you should have reported to the school authorities, because now you insulted her back and she reported. When you take laws into your hand, things can get it will go out of proportion. There was no justification for that beating. There was no justification for the video being recorded. If they had just followed the rule of law, don't wallow and feel like I am being victimized here. The girl felt victimized. She went to tell her father. Her father felt, let me go and support my daughter. And now you are going to end up in prison. Whichever way that man will end up in prison. He's been arrested and he might end up in prison just because he was trying to do something. No, let's follow the rule of law. So respect it.
It's a very messy fight, because I don't know why they will bring boyfriend and girlfriend gist and break up and fight to me as a parent, and then I will carry my bag, call my sister, so Nima, join me. Let's go. Let's go and defend. I would ask you why you are in the university in the first place. That's the first question. You are there to study. Why are you fighting over a man? To get to a point where you fight over a man is because you've lost respect for yourself. If the man that you are dating decides to follow somebody else, let him go. That means he doesn't deserve you. Why? That's even the first thing that I would handle. Why would I go find myself in a position where I am fighting for my child because she got into a fist fight with another man? That's so disrespectful. And this man, this lecturer, I believe, must be punished for this. Because you are a lecturer. You are supposed to be knowledgeable. You're supposed to know better. You're supposed to be at least above board, even if you have bad character. With all your studies, is it not supposed to be changing somewhat? You should have a conversation, even if you want to get involved in this. You already have a video evidence that your daughter was beaten. Take it to the proper authorities. Follow through if you want to support your daughter to fight that fight. I don't even know why you're supporting your daughter to fight over a man. Follow through on, exactly. Follow through on that fight. I always raise children around me to be able to have dialogue and sort out their issues. Sometimes when my kids are doing they're fighting and everything is happening, I don't get involved. I sit down, cross my leg, watch my movie, eat my chips. And then the father will say, go and find out what it is. I say, leave them. They need to start learning social skills to resolve conflict. I can't be wading in every time they call, Mommy, somebody did this to me, and I'm jumping in to their rescue. No, allow them build the skills, because tomorrow I won't be there for them. They should be able to stand on their own. So what are you teaching these young girls? That it's okay to go for reprisal fight? We have issues of when these headsmen started in Benue, where they come here, they attack, and then the community people go back for reprisal fight. And we see how that ends. Is that what we're teaching our generation now?
Okay,
that's so painful.
I think pretty much we've hit the nail. I think one of the most important reasons why we want to take this story is to ensure that justice is served, and to let people, especially the police, know that the story has gotten to us, and it's important that the parents are brought to book for what they did. The adults in this must be brought. In fact, all of them are adults. All about 18. Even the children, they're all at least 18 years or so. They should actually pay for what they've done to this young person. I think that's all we can take on this story. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll take on other stories. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Now we have DSP Rahman Nansil, spokesman, Nasarawa State Police Command. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. So we want to just get an update on what's happening concerning the arrest of the lecturer from Lafia. Could you give us an update on what's happening right now?
All right. It is no longer news that the lecturer, Dr. Fred Ekpa Yokai, and 3 of his children have been arrested in connection to the case of grievous assault against one Blessing Matthias, whose video has gone viral. We are still investigating them, his place of work has been notified and an official letter has been written to them. We are rounding up the investigation and we will be charging them to court by tomorrow or next.
From the evidences gathered so far, what exactly is your own version of what happened?
All right. From the investigation so far, the victim said to us that she found out that the daughter of the lecturer, by name Emanuela Ekpa Yokai, snatched her boyfriend. So she assaulted her. Then in retaliation, Ella now went back to her family. They mobilized, led by her father. They now went back,
Well, we have the facts.
abduct or take Ella to a non-disclosed location around Airport Road in Lafia, in a bush. They assaulted her, tore her clothes, naked her on the street. They beat and injured her and left her there. It was a good Samaritan that saw her and took her out of that place. We were now notified, and she was rushed to police clinic here in Lafia for treatment. But she has since been discharged, and she's still at home recovering.
So, sir, is this a bailable offense? How long can they be held down before they are being taken to charge to court?
These things happen during the weekend. That is why they are still in captivity.
Okay.
But as it is, by today or tomorrow, they will be charged to court.
Okay.
Yes.
Based on the evidence also provided, do you think Blessing also should be charged for initial assault of the young girl, of Emanuela?
So far, so good. We are still making findings. But Blessing is still with us. We are still monitoring her. We are still waiting for her to recover. We will take all of them to court. Whatever the court decides, that we will do.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. We just wanted to get an update and make sure that this case is actually taken seriously. I know it sounds trivial, but it's sad that...
It's not trivial.
I mean,
trivial.
the reason
is
rationale is
trivial.
trivial, but
So-
what happened is really sad. Yes.
It's just so sad that, I think both girls are students of Nasarawa State University. So in his capacity, he's no longer just a father.
Yeah.
He personalized the issue. And then the cult style, because in one of the videos, I heard him say, the brother saying to, listen, face my dad. And the man was cutting the girl's top with scissors. He said, you are not in town. You are in an unknown place. The threats, the language, it's just so painful that, this is somebody who is supposed to be in a capacity of local parenting, of a
Guardian.
a guardian.
Yeah.
As a lecturer, someone who should be able to separate himself. Since you cannot even parent your daughter and tell her, focus on your books, I did not say
and leave man alone.
to follow man, because we call this thing village people. He is not even a parent fit enough to parent his daughter. Because the matter, house matter, he didn't supposed to go outside. But you took it outside. You took it local. You took it as if you were taking... you took a gun to a broom fight. Broomstick.
Okay,
safe.
broomstick
fight. You carry gun go.
Bazooka.
As if...
So what was the objective of recording it?
I don't think they understand. Sometimes I feel like a lot of people are ignorant. That's why I feel I was happy we were discussing it. Because when we have conversations like this, some ignorant people are now getting informed. If you're going to do something like that, at least you will not record the evidence that will be used against you in court. As in, you yourself recorded the evidence against you. So I'm happy that the police commissioner I like the way it sounded. It sounded like everything will be done to bring justice to all. And I think all parties will be getting justice here. And I can't wait to see the result. And this will serve as a deterrent for others who might try to do this.
I'm also, almost certain, because the way they did the commando style thing, it could be that they have been used to doing things like they've been solving problems like that. Yes. So
very
if further investigation goes deep in, they may be able to find other people corroborating the other witnesses who have suffered one or two things, yes, from the same family.
His biography reads, Dr. Fred Ekpe Ayohai is a senior lecturer with the Department of History and International Studies. His research interest is on African economic and development history, intergroup relations, peace, conflict, conflict and security studies, gender studies, Niger Delta studies, Benin studies, colonial and post-colonial African studies, and
that's one course.
Both. His research interests.
Yeah.
That you are researching gender studies, and you went for bra and naked woman. You are doing conflict and security, and your conflict-solving mentality.
Also gather people.
Sometimes we need to check. It's not certification.
Do you have it?
Yeah. I think we've addressed this issue, and I'm happy that the police have this case. But I'd like to link the recording part to the other story about the young girl who was arrested in Dubai. Like us because we keep recording every single thing. And this young girl, her name is Miss Donchila. She was convicted under the United Arab Emirates laws for recording and circulating offensive videos on social media, according to the UAE crime law. Taking a video or photograph of someone without his or her permission or consent, posting such on social media is an offense punishable with 1 year jail term or a fine between $69,000 and $137,000, both jail term and fine. Now, in this our country, we have debated us regulating social media. How do you do this? Oh, it's against it. It's our freedom of speech. They want to gag the press. They want to gag us. They want to do this. This country, as she rightly said, is not a democracy, yes. However, in their country, it is against the law to record and post. Remember, there's even a training video of a man that committed suicide. Somebody was recording him. She was there telling her that, hold him, the man jumped. You didn't see the video?
I saw the video.
So
I saw it.
Thank God that
you to hold the man.
But
you are recording.
there were other people holding.
The other people holding.
He slipped with.
The point is that we have taken this recording of evidences to a different level. And we need to address it.
Let me branch quickly.
Let's stay on the topic.
It is okay to eat kola nut in Nigeria, but it is a crime not bailable in Saudi Arabia. It is a solution somewhere. It can be poison somewhere else. So this video that girl made had a good cause behind it. Nigerians were particularly profiled, delayed in the airport, and Dubai did not explain why. They have been doing it to Nigerians, and they can do it to anybody. So it's a different matter whether you know the laws of the country you're going into. But you know, when you bring your solution from here, there, for a good cause, in those countries, it's also a crime. Like we are at the beach, the way Nigerians would do. Like me now, when I'm in traffic and stuck, and I'm seeing some abuse, I will do video. It's okay here, except somebody has the laws that they want to show me on our cybercrime here. And you can post the video because you're posting it not with the intention, because we use mental laws.
How do you define intent?
We establish intention here.
How do you establish intent?
You establish if your intention is to abuse the person whose face you are putting, and you know, profile that person or put that person publicly, you know, invading that person's privacy, that is your intention.
Let me give you
the girl's intention is not what Dubai, because that's why I say it's not a democracy. The girl's intention, you know, there are acts that constitute crime. There are those acts, for them to really constitute crime in our own system here, there must be a mental intention.
Let me give you an example, Nima.
To actually do that thing that you're accused of.
So let's just say I'm in traffic, and I want to record
the traffic.
How bad the traffic is.
Thank you.
And I bring up my camera. While I'm recording, the young man is passing. Now, he doesn't want anybody to know he's in Lagos. His whole family thinks he's in Abuja.
You don't know that.
You don't know that.
Yes.
You don't know that.
Yeah.
But you are recording indiscriminately. You don't care.
Yes.
But the man now passes. Now, in a sane country, he can sue you for posting that video because you have invaded his privacy.
He's not in insane countries.
I'm just saying that in certain countries, let me say insane countries,
even in
certain
Nigeria,
countries, he could sue you and say that, why would you post my
Exactly.
picture
It's supposed to be
in
your
public?
video.
I wasn't supposed to be in Lagos. I didn't want my family to know I was in Lagos. I'm in Abuja, and suddenly you have done
carry
that.
your bad head and come and
So because you're recording video, because you had a good intention, your intention was to show the traffic.
But you can't show people join you.
So it
Let's
happens
assume
that
we
way.
have that law in Nigeria. You know why it will fail?
Where?
I will tell the court my intention is to show the traffic, the situation.
But
and
you
it could
show
help.
me inside.
No, wait. It could help 1,001 people. Nigerian courts here, with my law experience of almost 12 years, it will fly. It won't be a crime.
Because it's a democracy.
Because I did not intend to see your face inside my camera that you are capas. I don't know you. I don't know whether you want to publicize, but I am trying to address a situation. You where you want hide, mask up or something. It will not fly here. But when you cross over to Dubai, they don't worry about what her intention were.
They are following their laws.
They found the softest law to jail that girl.
That's what you
And
think.
if no, that's the truth. That's the truth.
What you
That's
think.
the truth.
So, you know,
Capture your opinion as
we
opinion.
remember
Don't call it
here
truth. Nah,
when
nah.
a man was, you know, doing a video with, I think in America with, what's this?
Aregbesola, the Minister for
and he was
Interior.
saying, you don't have a right to video me. And he went ahead, this is America, this is a free country. We
Nothing
always
happened now.
assume that when you travel out, everywhere is like America. I think we now need to start paying attention to the laws of the place that we go into. So let me give you an example for this Dubai. I was in Dubai a few weeks now, or months. And, you know, when we got there, we saw some Nigerians being stopped and harassed because there was a law that if you're not flying in as a family, you will not get visa. So some of them got visa and claimed they were family, and they got there and found they were not family. So they were sending them back. I went at that time as a family, and I didn't have that issue. So we need to be very certain that those people who are claiming the law was against them followed the rules that they had. I went there very recently, and I saw people at the airport being delayed. Let us say the truth. Being delayed because they did not follow, they did not come as families, and they were being sent back. I wasn't sent back because I filled the visa as a family, and I was there as a family. So if you keep the laws to the latter, these countries are not like ours that can waste some things. They are not smiling. When it comes to their laws, they take it very, very seriously. I was in Singapore recently, and they were telling me that they don't chew gum. They don't even chew gum. So you want to carry your big head and say, after all, this is a free country. It's not your land.
You cannot pass.
Exactly. You cannot chew gum. It's not your land. It's not your free country. You can do that in your country. So you must learn the laws of the land before you are being held by the laws, and then you start shouting. If we can tick all the boxes, I don't think a country will just sit down and say, I want to profile these people because they are horrible people. We spend money in Dubai. We bring in most of their market. If you enter into their markets, you will see that they want Nigerians to come. Because Nigerians are always buying. Nigerians are always selling. Nigerians are industrious. But when you now go there as a Nigerian, how do you react? How do you behave in that society? That's the peg they will use to rob every other Nigerian that comes.
So you think to yourself, like when I record now, if I'm in Dubai, I'm recording the malpractice of Nigerians and all that in the airport. When I record that, what is my objective? Am I talking to Nigerian government to talk to Dubai? Am I talking to international courts to arrest Dubai? What exactly is the objective for sending that video? Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll dig further on this matter. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this young girl that was arrested in Dubai. Toko, you're going to say something concerning this.
So I love the point being made about videos, and I don't agree with Nima that intentions, because really, I can't judge your intention. I can only judge the impact of what you have done. So you might have the best intention, but your car jammed somebody, the person died. Whether it was your intention or not does not matter. What have you done? What you've done has resulted in the death of someone. So you cannot go to a country and claim your intention for what is against their laws. Another thing that I need Nigerians to understand is Nigerians are quick to see victim mentality. We are being punished. The tweets, everybody was like, they are doing this to us. They're not doing it to you. Like, we need to understand what's the problem, what was wrong. Because everybody was now wearing that hat of justice for this girl, justice for her. She was wrong. She's been wrongfully imprisoned. It's not all system that is that is bad. Where rules are disobeyed and justice is not served. So the idea of thinking this is being done to Nigeria is wrong. And I'm so happy that BC had her own personal experience in recent times where people were turned back. A few Nigerians disobey the rules in that community and expect that they will get away with it. That's wrong. A country can change their rules. Currently in Nigeria, I feel like we need to change the way foreign workers are allowed into the country and how they work here and how they're being treated. If their system is going to stop my citizens from enjoying life, I will change my rule. You cannot stop me from changing my rule, Nima. A country can change their rule today and say, all of you foreigners re-register. And you don't re-register, that's your own pocket of tea because it is my country.
Yes,
it's
so
my sovereign nation.
Let's even leave the country out of this. I want us to even take the conversation home. Let's bring it home.
Our people
Our
are being...
indiscriminate use of the social media without any kind of regulation. Every little thing. I just said a man committed suicide over the weekend. Now, somebody was recording. Yes, there were maybe one or two other people there trying to hold him.
You posted it.
In a normal way, I mean, when things were normal. The person that was holding would also help him participate to lift that person up with all the energy. But no, she felt at least she's recording. Let them be helping the man to come over.
Why are you recording?
Everybody thinks once I carry a camera and the phone, I record and post. Now, even if you record for whatever reason, do you need to post that on for what? What exactly was the objective of to post? That was it. What's the objective? If I record it for my own keeps, to have my own memory of what happened, that is different. But you now have the audacity to post on social media to what objective?
Thank you.
That's the question.
Let's start from there.
Start from wherever you want to start.
Anyway.
From that point, that video she made, two other people or some other people were there helping that man. And they had him in grasp. And he pulled their hands and he jumped into the pool. Now, all of them were busy trying to help him. Nobody had an evidence of who was jumping. In a country where we don't have data, no identity, nobody knows. His family will, in 10 years' time, say, he just walked away. They would never know. So, even though she did something that, in the minimum, looked outrageous, she did a service. Now his family knew he jumped. At least, somebody would walk into social media and see that video if it is still in circulation, of which social media has their regulations. If the police or the data, the Population Commission needs that data, they have it. If we had a proper system where she could drop the data, probably she would not. When they are looking for him, they will find him. I don't want to see what she has done, because there were other hands.
Can I ask a
you know,
question?
before the
Let me ask you a
smartphones
question.
came, no problem, you ask. Before the smartphones came, we used to say we were smart people, we didn't have the evidences. Police would abuse you, you cannot gather the evidence. Now, the world has advanced to that point. We now want to throw away that solution so quickly.
But we have reported here on this table several times where bystanders or witnesses said they saw a man jump. They didn't need the recording.
Yes.
They told us and we took their word.
Know the family?
But let me take
They made the papers.
No.
And usually they find the bodies. Usually we've had in this.
No,
in this
but
country,
sometimes they don't find the bodies.
Yes, in this,
It's the lagoon we are talking
In
about.
this country, we have seen where people
bodies,
witness and they send a message to make a report to the police that we saw an old man jumping over. And then they go out and rescue him to find
People
the body.
that did not
Sometimes
jump
they don't.
at the
so-
beach,
Can I take
float
a few
from...
comments?
wait, to talk about. They did not float from Badagry Beach. They floated from somewhere in Lekki, in one of the beaches, all the way to Cameroon.
Okay.
All the way to any of the other African countries. And their bodies, those ones that did not jump. So, see, she did a video. Yes, she could have dropped it and helped. But she got the evidence. She got the face of the person.
So somebody
it will
help.
Exactly.
But
It will
don't
help.
take that video to the
That's-
police.
No, that's
If-
one
if your
example. I'm coming to
intention-
talk about before
if your
you answer.
intention was-
I want to answer you
If your
quickly. I'm
intention
coming back.
was
supporting
good,
you.
you will take that video to the police. Police now will contact the family and say, this is how your husband...
That's also
in
a
the
good
privacy.
one. But she got the video. She might not have posted it, but posting it might just even help families who would not. Imagine you going to your nearest police station and the person has moved away from Badagry, for instance, all the way to Third Mainland before he jumped. That's one example. I'm not saying UAE is not a sovereign country. I have never on this table accused any country of their sovereign laws. I'm talking about legality, trying a person and finding them guilty. The example of an accident leading to somebody's death is about foresight. It's not about intention that they jail that person. If it's about intention, everybody who hits and runs a person that will not be running. You'll be able to establish, I didn't intend to hit him. I only hit him. The law will now say, what speed are you going on? The law is using your foresight to be able to see that when you're on a certain speed, holding your brakes can result in the loss of lives. And that way you get a manslaughter, a reduced punishment, because they still could not establish intent,
Okay.
full intent
Point
to kill.
taken. Let me take the
Premeditated. No, I'm coming to kill. Now, in this video that this lady made, this lady raised the issue so that other Nigerians traveling will prepare. Dubai never issued a travel advisory. Nigeria said, not issue a travel advisory about Nigerians being delayed.
Dubai issued travel advisory.
I'm saying, Dubai did not issue it.
They issued-
Nigeria that owned the country did not issue. Nobody knew until that video. Did you know?
Have you
They
applied
did.
for visa?
No, did you know?
If you apply for
The
visa, they
lady's
don't
video
give you
brought...
visa.
Wait,
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
wait,
yeah,
no, it's okay.
Yeah.
I have not
Nima,
traveled.
pause for a
It's
second.
not a shame
Pause for
matter.
a second.
Listen.
I have to get it. I've heard you.
This is it.
Wait, Nima, calm down. I need you to calm down because I want to hear a different view.
Can I finish saying what I'm saying?
You said it. You made your point now.
No, some people on this table, they will tell you, wait, I've not finished, and it's okay. So I want to finish today. That lady made a video that up until she did it, most of us who have never bought that to apply to any country's embassy for visa found out that Nigerians are profiled and delayed. She didn't do anything untowards. Dubai looks for a law. They didn't deal with law the way law is practiced in all countries.
How did you know that?
Including Dubai. They didn't deal with it because if intention was the issue, her intention wasn't to profile a person. Now she stayed her stay. She proved that her family came for her. She finished her stay. She was on her way out before she was rearrested and tried. And the least they could do was, this punishment carried a fine and imprisonment, or both. At the discretion of the judges, the imprisonment was the best. We're talking about some things that, you know, we're treating with levity. I'm not saying Dubai does not have a right to their laws or their country, but in countries where you share relations, you look for the least. If Saudi could release that lady who had some things in her bag after years because Nigeria continued to reach out to Saudi, Dubai, UAE could do better.
So let's establish that there's still 15 days where she can appeal. She hasn't appealed yet.
Okay.
The judgment gave a prison sentence or a huge fine. Maybe she hasn't paid the fine. And on social media, there are lots of comments I want to take. Some supporting, some not agreeing. Corey Michael says, social media will be the demise of many. Mount Rushmore says, if there is no recording, that means it never happened. Uluwase Indeola today says, a lot of people record because they want to go viral, become influencers, or paint the government bad. You can record without doing it live on social media. Yesterday, Shonaike says, it is called citizen journalism. Somebody said the recording is for evidence. Now, let me address the recording being for evidence. If I want to record injustice being done to me as evidence, I don't need to post it online. I can send to my lawyer. I can send to a friend so that the evidence is kept, because a lot of things can happen. My phone might be seized and I don't have access to it, or it can be deleted from my phone. I'll send to someone, because if I post online, then these issues might happen. But if I was taken to court, if she was taken to court for maybe being returned back, she can try them. She can present and say, this is what they did to me. I recorded it so that I am protected. We have become a recording and posting country because America does it. Look at other countries, civilized countries. It's not everybody that does this thing. No. It's mainly the Americans that do it. And we like copy so much, we have followed suit. It's not all things that can be excused into being good is the right thing for us to do. We need to conserve some things. That man that was about to commit suicide might have his own personal reasons, but you posted his face online. People have accidents. You post their face online. These things need to be stopped. It's not right. There's no excuse for it. No, don't say because you're recording it. And I know it might sound right that his evidence is clinical. Don't record other people and post it online without their permission. Do your good and send to the police.
All right. Okay, I think we can end with that. That's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we bring in our guests. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So join us on the show now is the presidential candidate of the Young Progressive Party, YPP, Prince Malik Ado Ibrahim. He's one of Nigeria's biggest exports, currently putting his motherland on world map with his brilliancy and uncommon wizardry. He will be discussing his presidential bid and why he wants to become Nigeria's next president. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you. So the first question anybody would ask you is, why do you want to become president?
Well, apart from it being my constitutional right to try to do this, I think the most important thing is that I just see some lackluster leadership that's out there and available to us. And I'm really trying to do some things differently and try to be a bit more of a modern ruler rather than the traditional old school leaders that we have.
So, sir, we'd like to know some of your antecedents. You know, right now, everybody's looking for that Nigerian who has done something, who has a good track record. Can you tell us some of the things you've done that qualifies you for this position?
I think right now, the position I'm in is that the type of leadership we need is one that focuses on some of the things I'm good at. As far as governance is concerned, I've worked at United Nations for about 4.5 years as a Under-Secretary for Renewable Energy. That's working with 155 countries. My expertise is in two fields, security and power. And I have a very strong background, especially in renewable energy. And I think that what Nigeria really needs to do now is reset itself. We need to get things right. We need to focus on the things that really get Nigeria back. And those are issues where I think that no other presidential candidate at this point in time has. A very strong military background, a very strong power building background globally. And I'm very proud of that. And it's something that I believe that Nigeria will benefit from because I'm still one of the world leaders in the renewable energy sector. And I think that in a country where we're blessed with sunshine and a lot of natural resources, we can bring some of those things into the fore. And I'm really confident that Nigerians will gravitate to the way I'm thinking. And security is a big issue. It's something that I've been at the forefront of locally and internationally. I build military systems. I do a lot of advisory work. And I'm very comfortable that over the next very short period of time, Nigerians will be able to see what I've done and how other countries have worked with me in developing at least the strength of security. And that's why I'm very good at.
Okay, sir. I hear you, and I hear a lot of what we call in Nigeria phone. And to a large extent, the majority of the population you seek to lead don't have that. They won't connect to your accent. Like, you speak so well, and that on its own would be a reason people would not just want to listen. How do you intend to connect with the grassroots, with the majority of Nigerians that you probably haven't spent a lot of time with, to know how the shoe pinches them and be able to prefer solutions to them?
Well, a man must not be judged by the way he sounds. I think it's the content of his heart and his mind. But I'm quite proficient in different languages. I speak 8 different languages. My accent just happens to be one that reflects where I was educated. But going to the grassroots, I mean, we've had 30-odd years of repeated promises that haven't been engaged with or delivered on. And I'm just not sure that the young people of Nigeria are ready for another round of, it's my turn, or people who have done things and really haven't done things. And the only thing any politician can say today is that I've been a politician. If a man is telling you that he wants to run for an office and if he hasn't balanced the budget, don't be surprised when he gets into office and he doesn't balance the budget. We need to be on performance. And I think that what I want to be able to do is take this to the grassroots. Look, it's very difficult to come from a private sector and open yourself, expose yourself to ridicule and conversation and dinner at breakfast table conversations. But this is my country too. And I just see so much that I do outside that I can do at home. And it's not just about that. There's some really fundamental things that I think grassroots people can understand. I build things in Nigeria. I'm not somebody who's branded himself and I'm this and I'm that, but you can go from Ibokoda in Ondo State to Mayobelwa in Adamawa State or in my own state. I build things, I put power systems in, non-government interference, private sector driven. I put, for instance, 80% of the power that goes into Northeast, I've put on one particular industrial estate in 3 months. 80%, that's 5 megawatts compared to the 7 megawatts.
So
amazing.
Sorry, go ahead.
Why the Youth Progressive Party? If you're being realistic about how politics is done here, you'll be in one of the major parties. And with your resume, I'd think you had your basis or maybe passed in any of the parties. Why the Young Progressive Party? And were you in any other party? Did you leave those major parties?
No, I've never been in politics before. I'm not a politician, I'm a businessman. And I believe that when you try to come into these old, drawn-out parties that feel that they can run Nigeria. You end up starting at the bottom. If you have great ideas, they never get to come to fruition. You have to kind of wait till you're 70 years old again, and then you're too old. I believe the younger leadership that a Young Progressives Party allows me and other Nigerians that want their voices to be heard. It's the place to be. We're a young nation. We have a lot of young people. It might be a long shot to a lot of people, but nobody can play God. We don't know what's going to happen. You only have to look at Liz Truss or she's there for 45 days, probably thought, wow, I've got this job, and didn't last long. Or Donald Trump, a businessman that came in, not a politician, and he did a very good job in the US. He might be a little bit warped, but he did get in there and do some good things. And I'm just, I'm fed up of complaining and trying to sort of barter my way into leadership. And I believe that you need your voices to be heard. It's not just me, quite a few Nigerians, I think, are feeling the same way. And I'm very comfortable with my decision. We need to shake, even if the other parties are going to do well, they've got to get past people like me and prove themselves. We don't have an opposition party in Nigeria. Right. If something goes wrong, nobody brings government to task. Young people need to be able to bring government to task. We need to tell them that they're wrong. We need to tell them that you need to build that dam after 40 years instead of continually killing people. It's things like that I'm very comfortable with.
Let me go on a break for a second. When I come back, we'll dig further into exactly what you plan to do. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have our guest. Sir, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
So one of the greatest issues we have right now in today's government is the fact that government says they don't have money. They raised about $9 billion, I can't remember the figure exactly, for next year's budget, and they're still looking for 10-point-something trillion deficit. And the issue they're saying right now is they're trying to raise funds locally, the domestic revenue, and they're also trying to increase taxes or use all the various apparatus they have within government to raise funds within the country. If you become president, how do you expect to increase our revenue generation, number one? And number two, how do you intend to tackle insecurity?
Well, one of the most important things that we need to learn from the budgets for the last 10 years or so is the size of government is enormous. Nigerians should be very upset. I mean, if you look at the simple fact that 70% of our national budget goes towards feeding 1 million people. 70% of the national budget is there to service government only. That's 1 million people out of 216 million people. 70% of the budget, I mean, that's criminal. Reduce the size of government, first of all, and that would even free up a lot of money. Selling government assets doesn't help in any way, shape, or form. Nigeria should not be selling its assets. It should be remanaging its assets, finding the right kind of people. If you go to any foreign country that wants to, that really values itself, it brings in expertise, not necessarily its locals. Look at what's happening to NNPC. The subsidies have been put in place, 18 billion naira a day. I mean, the number is ridiculous. We just don't have an opposition that is challenging government, saying, how can we be using 70 million liters or some ridiculous amount of fuel every year when the number is actually around 28 to 30? And we're exporting this to our neighboring countries. There's a grand theft of Nigeria going on, and that money should be brought back. I mean, a president like myself, because I have no allegiance to anybody, and because YPP is not there, been in power for a long time, I would go for revenue restitution. There's a lot of theft going on in this country, and basically, with all due respect, I would lock people up until they put that money back. Nigeria has been stolen from us, and you need somebody who understands what's going on. An economist will do this. You cannot expect us to keep taking our national resources and giving a few and let the many suffer.
Right.
How can you sell a national asset like NNPC? The people who took those subsidy funds have just returned it back into the country and are buying an asset that looks like it's moribund. It's madness. I mean, this whole subsidy issue is a theft that needs to be looked into. So that's one. CBN's exchange rate. I mean, why would anybody who's got a brain in their head take dollar at 400 when the black market is at 750 and go and trade with it and expect that within a year I'll return that money, and with all the struggles of export and import and the ports being closed and insecurity? I mean, a smart person would take that money and round trip it 4 or 5 times. You can't do that. We need a single exchange rate. This will really stabilize the economy completely. It's madness that we do these sort of things, and it's just for a few people to enjoy the riches of this country, and it needs to stop. And it's politics.
So I hear you, and I understand the fact that it's always seemed easy to know the solution when you're not in the system. I remember our current administration promised everything promisable before they got into power. They told us they were going to reduce the cost of dollars, they were going to do all the roads, petrol will be so, and so. And when they got into power, the first 4 years the situation was really bad. The economy is really bad. We had no idea how terrible the situation is. There was a lot of excuses even till now. How prepared are you, in terms of understanding of how serious the challenges are, and what would be your top 3 areas to deal with if you do become president? Well, when I do become president, I think the most important thing is to get Nigerians to buy into the kind of leadership style that I would want to have. As a businessman, I consider myself a chief executive officer, and I'd want to be the CEO of Nigeria. I'm not looking to be a politician, because what delays you, what hampers progress is when you are horse trading for political gain. Somebody needs to take Nigeria seriously and understand that, look, we have an incredible opportunity to be a world leader, but raping this country of its resources and its value is just not the right way to go. We took 8 months to find ministers in 2015. They were not prepared. When you prepare yourself for leadership, you must prepare with all the eventualities in your mind. And yes, you can make promises, but you know what? If they've not done it before, what makes you think they're going to do it when they get there? If they haven't built power stations, what makes you think they're going to give you power? If they've not been in the modern military system, what makes you think they're going to understand what security is? If they've never had a business, how do you provide jobs? We take a lot of things for granted. We expect government to do things for us. But it's about time we started finding leaders that want to do things for the people, to serve the people. And that's one of the reasons why I'm very convinced that a YPP-led Malik Ibrahim administration would be there to serve the people, because we just don't have any kind of allegiance politically. We would fight the system. Right. It may not be very popular, but the results would be great.
Let me get a few more questions in for you. Sir.
Yes, so there's a message on YouTube that says, this man is even too gentle for Nigeria. You're soft-spoken, and you have the idea that Nigeria needs a very tough person to handle it. But my question is, the way the system has been designed is designed to frustrate any idea that does not come from the system. Now I'm talking about the cabals, and we cannot pretend like we do not have the people who believe that they own Nigeria. If you get into power, have you envisaged that these people may want to sabotage you, and what is the plan to stay above and do your job?
I have a friend of mine who became a leader in his country. I'll try not to mention the names, but as soon as he got in, he locked up all those that he knew and was just knew, had really betrayed the country and stolen. He was able to get $100 billion back. I speak softly, but I carry a big stick. I wasn't in the military sector because I was a weakling. Shouting doesn't get you anywhere. Doing is what counts. So there's a time to talk and there's a time for action. And as it says in the Bible, there's a time for everything. So I'm not worried about luring people into feeling comfortable. I'm quite familiar with what I need to do to change the environment, and I intend to do so. So help me God. It's not. This is not for a few. The cabal is cabal by name. You let them rule. Once you're president of this country, you have the power to do the things you need to do for the people. It's not about vengeance. That's why I said restitution. I would go after everybody that has money, pay the money back. If not, I would use the full extent of the law and of course, within the human rights. But I'd still do my job. If I get sworn in, I get sworn in to do a job. And I've always done that.
Okay, so I'd like to test what your cabinet will be like. Who is your running mate and, what's his pedigree? And what would your cabinet look like?
Hello, sir. Are you there? Hello, sir.
Well, a running mate. He's unlucky because he's grassroots. Hello?
Okay, we didn't hear you.
Can
Go
you hear
ahead.
me?
Yeah, start over, please.
Yes. Michael Casarachi is my running mate. He's an economist. He's got a doctorate in business administration. I need somebody who, by the Constitution, the vice president is in charge of the economy and the sort of the resetting of Nigeria's economy, and I like him for that. My cabinet would be young and active, people who have done things in the environment in which I would put them into the ministries. If you're a doctor, you'd be in health, or have some kind of healthcare background. If you are a lawyer, you go into the justice. I wouldn't put a lawyer into power or any of the other things that I've seen in this last administration has been laughable. 50%, and I want to promise this, women are 50% of our population, and they gave birth to the other 50%. And I would like my administration to reflect that very strong, very Nigerian thing that women are part of our economy. And our women globally have outshone the men in many ways in all sort of government agencies or NGOs or world bodies. And they deserve to be in power at home. And certainly not just a woman because she's a woman, but certainly we have some bright souls, amazing women in every field. And I'd want to reflect that in everything my administration does.
Right, we have to let you go here. What are your final words to Nigerians who are listening to you this morning? Because many would say they haven't heard of YPP. So what would you like them to do this morning if they've heard from you?
I think the most important thing you can do is to do the research, to look at what we've done, to look at who the party is. We're not tied to anybody, so we have the people's work to do. Our motto is service to the people for the greater Nigeria. And I believe that if you look at my background, it's very varied, from music to sports to the military to power. I'm a small boy in Nigeria. I'm 59 in December. I've done a lot. I'm probably better known outside this country than I am inside. But my pedigree, my antecedents, and my business acumen and awards should be able to tell Nigeria that, look, just like in anything that we do, whether it's our music or our sports, Nigerians rise to the top. But Nigerians need to give Nigerians a chance to get this country back. Right. And people like myself, and especially the young people of this country, need to take control.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. It was a pleasure having you on the show. And we wish you all the best in the coming
elections. Thank you very much.
With us, that's all we can take on the show today. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.